So getting back to what I learned speaking to people, and this is directly related to the noise on the Karoo street tyres, which I'm going to demonstrate now. Let's get to 100 k's. Can you hear that noise? That loud, but there it is. Hear it? I'll back off. See, it's gone away. So I'll get up to the speed limit again, back up to, actually I'll have to just make sure where the speed limit is. I believe it's 100 along here. Alright, so after being on forums discussing has anybody else had the same noise, I think a lot of people have sort of shrugged their shoulders. The responses are, well, it's an adventure tyre. It's an adventure bike. Okay. Well, I had the same response at the bike shop where I just got the 1,000, initially when I got the 1,000k service, until I explained to them, well, I've just done 29,000 k's on a Honda Transalp 23 model. I'd had no whine at 100 k's and above, and it's, you know, really upsetting that you spend thousands of dollars trading your 23 model on the 25, only to be greeted with a freaking like a banshee howl. At 100 k's. So I'll go up to 100 again now to show you that I'm not bullshitting. Hear that? That's a noise. See, imagine putting up with that noise for 100 when you're doing the speed. Like we're doing indicated 100, we're probably doing 95 kilometers an hour in reality. Can you imagine putting up with that noise? So I'm going to go back down below that whine and noise so we don't drive everybody crazy. It's still there even then. It's gone away now at 90. So you imagine having to ride this bike cost me 17,800 with all the accessories on it. You imagine having to ride a 17,800 bike below the speed limit, a 750 92 horsepower bike below the speed limit, but not about on, below, not to get deafened by the tyre noise of the Karoo street tyres. So for everybody that's buying these make sure you say to the dealer, I'm only buying a bike if you put as stock, so I'm not paying for extra money on the tyres, but this bike comes with Dunlop Mixtours or Karoo Street or Karoo Street. If you're unlucky and you are on a road rider who doesn't want to do any dirt ride except light dirt roads in the dry, that Dunlop Mixtour will serve you fantastic. You'll get 12,000 k's on the road out of them, as long as you're not, you know, doing burnouts, and you know, 10 to 12,000 k's on easily on the Mixtours, rear and front. The front will probably go even longer. So I had two sets of those Mixtours, no noise at all, and we're talking about, you know, speeds above 100, no noise, up to 6,000 RPM, 7,000 RPM top gear, no noise. So what I've learned is that people shrug their shoulders and go, oh shit, but it's an adventure bike. Really, I'm letting you know, the Transalp is not meant to be sounding like this at 100 kilometers an hour, right? That is not how any motorbike, maybe a cheap Chinese knockoff, is meant to sound like that at 105 kilometers an hour, 100 k's, that's what it is. So let's get that straight. I've done 29,000 k's on the 23 model with no noise. So these freaking Karoo street tyres, I've been digging the forums, have been known to be noisy since I first sold. And as people think, oh, well, that's just the way the Transalp is. It's a noisy bike, and they sell the bike. I think the guy that sold the bike to me, he may have done the same, but he didn't because he had Dunlop Mixtours, so that throws that theory out the window. But if you're thinking it's a loud bike and I have to sell it because you've switched the Dunlop, the Karoo tyres for another adventure tyre that's off-road biased, and it's noisy. You're going to think this is a freaking noisy bike. It's only the tyres, right? Shit freaking tyres. Now, if you buy a bike from Honda, a 25 model, they should tell you, which tyres do you want? Are you going to ride it on the road? Yeah, I'm going to ride it on the road, on these back roads. Are you going to do any dirt? No, I'm not going to do any dirt. I'll do dirt roads when I come to them, but I'm not sick of that single trail or fire trails, anything like that. I do not need off-road tyres. We'll put the Dunlop Mixtours. We'll make sure we order your bike with Dunlop Mixtours. How hard would it be for Honda to be honest up front with its customers and say, these are a loud tyre above 100 Ks, so here we go, let's go to 100. Hear that? That's what it's like inside the helmet. Now you imagine on a motorway, on this back road, when you're trying to keep ahead of semi-trailers that are trying to freaking run you over, listening to that bullshit. I've got noise cancelling headphones, AirPro 2s, they are fantastic. I got my music up to about 70% volume, and all I can hear when I get to 100 Ks is that freaking droning noise. Now under, say 90, are the tyres loud? They're louder than my Pirelli Scorpion Trail 3s. That's for sure. That's for sure. I could hardly hear the bike with my Scorpion Trail 3s when I had my AirPods in with noise cancelling on. So they're a louder tyre, but they're an unacceptably louder tyre at 100. Anybody that says, you just got to put up with it, ride an adventure, you could go, run, take a run and jump. Seriously. No bike that costs this sort of money should sound that loud at 100 Ks an hour. Wow, look at that place. He's collected a few wrecks, and he's fucking hell, how many vehicles? Oh, it's a wreck, it must be. Yeah, so it's beautiful out here. This is one of my favourite places to ride, the Scenic Rim, all the way Boona to Warwick, Raftani, Woodinbong, Kyogle, all the back roads. It's just, you couldn't get a better place, just a cruise. I guess that's why I'm a back road cruiser who likes to, improve her riding skills along the way. So I think this is Pigs Crossing we're coming to, and we can't turn off here and go on the back roads to Calbar, which I might do. This is a good bike road, but considering I can't do 100 Ks an hour, there's no point. There's no point being on a good bike road when you can't even get to the speed limit, So what I mean by bike road, anybody that's been on this road to Boona from Ipswich will know it's a pretty decent bike road once you get past Pigs Crossing. But I'm going to go the back road, which is a cruisy explorer's road. Go down to Calbar and so forth. Stand up on the pegs. It's all tar. But it's the great thing about these back roads is you can be in your own world. I do a lot of meditation, believe it or not. And being on a bike by yourself with the universe, with the blue sky, the scenery, and you get into that zone in your mind or outside of your mind with a bike in the road, and you don't have to be racing. You just stand up and just observe the speed limits. Here there's a few houses, 60 K. Stand up on the pegs and just look around, look right around, check your mirrors. And what's better than this, What could be better than being on the road out away from all the bullshit? All the bullshit. all the absolute crap of city life, of, you know, and just being out on a bike. Alright, so let's get to 100. Oh, look at that car. Let's get to 100 and show you it's 100k speed limit here. Let's get to 100. And there's the noise again. Hang on, I've got to get back up to 100. There it is. So I'll just put my visor up a bit. Now that's a bit better because of a road surface than it has been. It's very windy, so the wind noise, surrounding ambient wind noise from the side is masking that noise. But when you haven't got, because this is a pretty good bike for the wind, for a shorter ride. I'm only 5'7", and I got the low seats, and this is only the stock screen. I've got a taller screen at home, but the sun is coming up, so I'm going to leave this on to get more airflow. And this is not a loud bike. Like at this speed, 97 kilometers an hour. I'm listening to my music on the podcast. I'm talking on a YouTube. You know, I can hear myself talk. And so, but once you get to about 100, and I'm doing that. Obviously, that's not the bike. That's doing the. That's me. But that's what it sounds like on the motorway, and when there's no ambient wind noise, that's what it sounds like. Now, I don't know whether to go straight here. I'm going to go straight and see what's down this road. Old Warwick Road. I think I have been down here before, but why not? It's 30 degrees. It's sort of one of those days where you just feel like, what do you feel like? Oh, it's dirt. I don't want to do dirt on my new bike. Do you reckon I should? Yeah, fuck it. Alright, so we're doing dirt here on the 25 Transalp. I'm going to get the bloody bike dirty. I haven't done too much dirt riding on my Transalp, but I reckon the Karoo, noisy Karoos at 100 k's that I detest are better on the dirt. So we'll try them out, eh? I'll wash the bike at Bow Desert. I've got a car wash there. Alright, welcome back to the channel. So here we are in the Scenic Rim. Where are we? On the Old Warwick Road. Heading somewhere. I've never been on this road before, but it's obviously a public road. We'll see how the suspension on the 25 Transalp goes on the... Oh, beautiful. But this is a very smooth road. This is probably smoother than the majority of the sealed roads on the back roads. It's very smooth. Alright, I'll sit down, coming up the crest, stand up so I can see a bit above the crest of the hill. Jim Bob from Tennessee here. I'm a 25 Transalp. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so here we are in the Scenic Rim on the 25 Transalp. Just up to 1000k service. Yeah, the first thing, I've discussed it on a previous video, the suspension is a lot more compliant. No, I'm not going to say that I'm going to use this for single trail or enduro loops. It's going to be these sort of roads. It's probably the longest stretch of dirt road I've taken a Transalp. And I owned a 23, for a bit of background, I owned a 23 Transalp with 29,500 Ks, and I don't think I took it the longest road. I kept to the sealed road, never went on the dirt. So here we are, we're christened the 25 Transalp, it's on dirt, why not? Just hope we don't have any river crossings. I don't think we should have. So they call it the Old Warwick Road. Let's check my mirrors. So I've got the bash. This is a 25 Transalp, and it's got the bash plate, the Honda bash plate and skid plate on this bike. So in second gear, so yeah, she goes up here. So it's just on 900k, so I don't want to try and do the wheel stand. Ooh, look at that. Wow, I don't think I've ever been on this road before. Old Warwick Road it's called. Oh, did that guy even look? So this is why I think the Transalp's at home on the sealed roads than on the public dirt roads. Alright, I don't know where this goes, so I'm just flying blind here. Oh, look at that. Oh, he's building a nice house. Got a big shed. Wow, what a setup. Lucky, lucky, lucky. I don't mean that in a negative way, I mean in a positive. That is so good. I'd love to live there. Away from all the crap. Now I think if you go that way, you head back to the Ipswich Boona Road. So we're going to go this way because I want to go head sort of around Calvar and all that. Keep on the back. I think this is the Calvar Road coming up. Pigs Crossing Calvar Road. And this will go all the way down to Boona. Then you can follow it down on the back road to Maroon Dam and all that. And it's a pretty long ride. It's a good loop. Normally when I do that sort of loop, Gold Coast, Canungra, Bow Desert, either this way, further down, or go to Raftownie and come back this way, or go to Kyogle. I think if you go to Kyogle, going to Kyogle now, it would be about a 450k loop from Gold Coast to Canungra, Bow Desert, Raftownie, Kyogle, Yuki and back, maybe 400. I've already done, what have I done today? It's on 24. I've done near 200 today. It's just reset when I filled up before. So I've got the bike. It was 150 k's for the bike service at Ipswich. I didn't buy it at Gold Coast because of I'm not going to go into that. So just as I say, I wasn't happy with the treatment. So I bought the bike elsewhere and I've got the bike service elsewhere. And I'm buying anything else with a bike. So that's the only way you can, only thing you can do when people treat you like shit. No use fighting them. No use telling them how you feel because they know how you feel because that's why they fucking treat you like shit, eh? So you just, only thing you can do is just let it go by, and when the time comes, when you want to buy another bike, you just take your business elsewhere. It's the only thing you can do. They don't give a shit anyway. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, look where we are. Scenic rim here, not far from Calbar. On the 25 Transalp, 895 k's, clocking the k's up on the 25 now. So I sold the 23 model on the trade-in. It had 32,500 k's, great bike, service on time, never gave me any issues. Apart from a bit of a wobble on tyre fitting issues from Gold Coast Honda. So, hi, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so I'm a 25 Transalp. Just had its first service. We've done it a little bit early. It's got 895 k's on the clock. Had to do it a little bit early than late. You get that oil changed. But that's where the damage is going to be done. Not the damage, but that's where the engine's at its most vulnerable in the first 1,000 k's. So they say. You know, I apologise if you hear a noise, because that's the Karoo tyres, that Honda and its wisdom have bestowed upon all us Transalp buyers, apart from, lucky enough, my last 23 model had the Dunlop Mixtours on them. I put 2 sets on those, and I went and got the Pirellis because they were on a road, predominantly road. So you do not need noisy tyres when you're riding the road, eh? So even people who are buying this for off-road, here's the thing. I've just been on a dirt road, a public road, handled it, no worries. Of course, I'm in a frickin' a Ninja SX 1100 or a Honda CV 1000. There's an FJ 1200, 1300. I was thinking of buying one of those second hand. I was going to keep the Transalp, which I should have done, and bought a CR 300 rally and done off-road, or kept this, really made it an off-road bike and didn't worry about dropping it, and buying a 1300 or a bike I'd really like to have had was probably the Kawasaki Z1000, but still make them in Australia. Alright, hi, welcome back to the channel. Yeah, so 25 model Transalp, just had its 1000k service. We're here cruising the Scenic rim between Ipswich and Boona. So I think we're on the Calbar Road. I just went off the old Warwick Road on dirt. There's the Warwick. It's like beautiful over there, those mountains. I've only ridden 3 times twice in the last 2 weeks. 3 times. Picked the bike up, once on the bike, and today. As long as I haven't ridden regularly a bike in 18 months. I was riding 3 or 4 times a day I had a Kawasaki Versys, 23 Transalp, which I'd done most of the Ks on, and a 300 rally. And you go, oh, maybe I'm sick of bike riding. Maybe it's time to get back to life, reality. Then you get on the bike. When you're not tired, so you rest it, you get on the bike and you come out of places like this. And even if you are a bit tired, one thing that can wake you up is bike riding. It's a pretty common thing, and I won't go into detail of my medical issues that have surfaced the last 14 months, but I had extreme fatigue for a long time as well, and I kept telling the doctors, once I had an e-scooter, once on an e-scooter I felt better, as long as I was moving, as long as I was moving. Same on the motorbike, once you're moving, it's like it takes 20 or 30 years off your age. And if you get a comfortable bike, so if you're an older person like myself, get an upright bike. I'd love a sports bike, like I said, a Z1000, but a naked bike. I used to have an FJ 1200, but you're moving forward, you're going to get pains in your back, on your wrists, your neck is going to get sore with a helmet and bending forward. So with an adventure bike, I'm the wrong side of 58. I'm standing up here like a 20-year-old on the pegs. I've ridden since 5:30 this morning to get my bike service, so I was there on time. So I've done 200 Ks today already, and I feel 30 years younger than I did for the last 2 weeks when I haven't been riding. It sharpens your senses. I think what it is, I think people who may be getting older and the blood's, the heart isn't pumping blood as it used to, and happens to all of us to varying degrees. When you get on a bike, it's like, I don't know if it's gravity, the G-forces, like it's only a small G-force, but it's still there. I don't know, it just helps your heart pump that blood. I don't know if that's one theory, because it's not in my mind. I spoke to a doctor, he goes, oh, it's the adrenaline. in your body. Okay, what's adrenaline in my body? I think that's partial. So we're at Calbar here. Look at that mountain over there. It looks like a pyramid over there. You'd swear it's like one of Egyptian or the South American pyramids. It's really weird. I mean, it's not a pyramid, but freaking hell, it looks like one. Hi, welcome back to the channel. We're on the 25 Transalp here in the Scenic Rim, just checking out that pyramid over there. Only kidding, it's not a pyramid, it's a rock, it's a mountain, but it looks like a pyramid. We're on an ancient volcanic crater out here in the Scenic Rim. There's some pretty cool rock formations and mountain peaks. It's a really good place to ride a motorbike. Back roads, just got to, you know, be mindful, have your wits about you. I'm going to look for a tree, have a drink. God. It is 30 degrees and it feels like it. Summer has come with a vengeance. We've had a pretty mild winter, pretty cool winter in southeast Queensland. We've had some pretty cold days. It's perfect bike riding weather, but hey, as always happens, the best bike riding weather. I think I've done the least amount of motorcycle riding in the last 18 months, the last few months. I have had surgery and all that, but still could have got out a bit more. But I've got a new bike, traded in the 23 model Transalp on the 25. So how's the 25 model Transalp going? It is going pretty much like the 23 model Transalp. So what I've got out of spending thousands of dollars losing on the trade-in on the 23 is a fresh warranty, a 2-year warranty. Zero Ks, now it's got 907, so the kilometres quickly come back on. I can pants it falling down. Yeah, I took a belt, putting on a bit of weight, took the belt off my motorbike pants. They were starting to fall down a little bit and dig into my stomach. I really got to lose weight, eh? Hi, welcome back to the channel. Here we are in the beautiful Scenic Rim, just left Calbar. Yeah, so the suspension on the 20, as discussed on another video, is a lot firmer, a lot tauter, and you notice that straight away. Now, it's one of those things, you're going to get used to that improvement pretty quickly, and you're also going to get used to the downside pretty quickly. And the downside, as I discussed in the previous